So this is the window valance that came with the baby set, but we're going to use it as part of the baby banner for the shower. So we have 36 inches here up to where the butterflies go. So Tony and I went to Michael's today and we found some more of that matching cardstock that we had used on the other butterflies and bought some more of that along with some pattern papers to make a paper banner with the baby's name on it. So that's what we'll work on next using the Silhouette Cameo. To start making the baby banner, for the background I'm using my online library, and I believe this came with the Silhouette Cameo, this shape right here that says heart. I'm not using the heart itself, I'm just going to use the scallop circle around it. So I will need to release compound path and I will need to ungroup. And then I can highlight everything in the middle, hit delete, and we have the circle that we need. Now to get this sized, right now it's at 2.865 inches. So we'll go to the open the scale window, and these are going to be lock aspect ratio because we want it to stay as a circle and not an oval, and hit 5 for 5 inches. I guess it's slightly off with that, so let me go ahead and take that off. So I'm going to go ahead and put 5 and 5 to have a perfect circle, and then click apply. And there we go. So now we have our 5-inch. Now let's see how many of these we can fit on our page. So what I do is I keep this selected with the dimensions showing, click on Object, Replicate, Fill Page. And there we go. So we can fit 4 of those perfectly on our Silhouette 12 by 12 page. So we'll go ahead and start by cutting these out. There's no print, so all we have to do is send to Silhouette. Now that I made the outside, there's 2 layers, well, I guess there's 1 layer of a circle that I need to put in here, and then also a letter. So I'm going to keep this here as a reference and click on the circle tool, hold down my shift key, and bring it out. Now I don't want to make it too big because I am going to have a rosette underneath this area. So for this particular circle, I think we're going to try to make it about 4 inches. So again, I'll click on the open the scale window and do 4 by 4 inches and click apply. Then, as you can see, it's not really centered, so visually, if I want to see better what I'm doing, I can click on Open the Align window and hit this top one that says Center. And that shows me what size it's going to be. Now, I really want the rosette to stand out a little bit better than that, so I think this 4 inches is still too big. So we will try it at maybe 3.75. So let me resize that real quick. Let's see here. So again, scale, let's go a little bit smaller. And hit apply. Yeah, so this will allow the rosette to still peek out on the sides and this to be our little accent color in the middle. So we'll click center. And then I can delete this one now. Actually, I'm just going to move this to the side because I'm going to continue working with these pieces all together. Now I'll put this in the far corner and again go up to Object, Replicate, Fill Page. And there we go. It's actually more circles than we need. So let me go ahead and delete out these 3. And then again, no printing needed. We just need to send to Silhouette and click Cut. So now that we know the size of the circles, we're going to put each circle will have 1 letter of the name in it. So I will use the text file, and I like this nice bold font here. So I'm going to click that, and then we'll type out her name in all caps. And while it's still all grouped together, we'll click on Open the Scale window, Lock Aspect Ratio, and then let's try making these 3.25 inches tall. And let's see how that looks inside. Yeah, those look really good. Let's try a little bit taller. Let's try 3.5. And that still looks really good as well. So that's the size I'm going to go with. So again, each one of these goes individually in the center of those circles. Now those are already cut out. So for this test run, I'm going to ungroup, which will separate all of these letters. So I can just move this one off to the side for now. And we're only going to cut out these letters since that's what I have on my mat right now. Let me just kind of move it down, and I'll delete these out for the moment. And then go again, send to silhouette, and cut. I found these really cute paper rosettes designed by Lori Whitlock. This is the largest one I was able to find, which is a 2.8 inch diameter. Mine, I'm going to need them to be about 5 inches in diameter, so I'm going to have to adjust this file a little bit. But I really like that it has 6 different types of edges for rosettes. And I believe all I'll need to do is just extend out my perforation lines a little bit to get the size that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the cart and download this and start using this file. So now I downloaded that file from Lori Whitlock. It's the 3D Build a Rosette strips. Hers are at 2.8 inches. Now, what I had to do with this when I first opened it, everything was jumping around and looking kind of weird. So I had to unsnap the show guides and unsnap the snap to guides. Now, there may be a very valid reason why she has those on there, but for what I'm trying to do, it was just locking up everything. I've never had a problem with it locking up, but it was definitely the file itself. So here I'm going to go to Object. Well, let me select the object. Object, ungroup, and then let's see if it ungrouped. See, it's still kind of jumping around on me. Object. Well, it's not really grouped together anymore, but there we go. Okay, so now you'll see a gray box around each individual one of these. So I'm only going to be working with the top one. So I'm going to highlight these individually and delete these because I'm only using the top one, the top rosette file. Now, to make these the size you need them, you'll want to double the height. So let me show you that dimension. This dimension on this file is 1.31 inches. So if we pull out our calculator and do that, it comes out to almost 2.68, something like that, or 2.8 inches. Well, I need mine to be a lot bigger than that. I need these to be a 5-inch diameter. So this number right here, I need to be at 2.5 inches. So in order to do that, I need to stretch this. But if I do that, it's going to stretch my circles as well. So with it selected, I need to ungroup one more time so that all of these circles are separate. Now it is going to make this little bottom section down here a little off scale, but I can live with that. It'll just kind of make my edges a little bit more pointy. So what I'm going to do is, again, select that item, go to open the scale window. The only number I'm going to change is the height, and I'm going to change that to 2.5. And again, hit apply. And now you'll see it scales it and moves everything up. So all I'm going to do now is just recenter those little circle edges right on the tips. And there we go. So now when oops, sorry, I zoomed out too fast. When I click on this, you'll see it's 2.5 inches on the side. So when we roll this up, that will equal a 5-inch rosette for us. Before we cut this out, we need to group everything all back together or those holes are going to separate. So I'll highlight everything and click group. Now I can move it back onto my sheet and we can cut. Now everywhere where you see the dash line is going to be like a little score mark. So we'll be able to do those. Alright, so we'll do our test cut. Again, there's no printing needed. We just send to silhouette and click cut. So here is our progress. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but this was just getting the color scheme straight, making sure those are the color orders we wanted to go with, and we decided that was a go. So now for these backgrounds here, we have finished with these. And now Tony decides to cough. And it's a mental thing, you know?
That's what it is.
So that's how we're going to do that part. And then we just finished cutting out our first rosette to go over that centerpiece. And we're going to bunch this in a little tighter so that green will poke out a little bit better, just like so. And then the next thing we're going to cut out is some lavender circles. And then we're going to cut out the dark purple letters. And so that's what they're going to look like out of those wonderful designer papers. And we've learned this little secret from Jennifer Ruiz on Just Dolling. It's called the brayer, and you can use an old mat and the paper will still stick. So just if you decide to use it on designer paper, it may be stuck a little too stuck. Right, Tony?
Yes.
All right, so we will update this as we keep moving. Well, the banner is complete. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, the day before the shower, and I'm telling you, this banner has been something that has been in my head for the past 2 months, and I just really struggled with exactly how I was going to do it, and it finally came together. So let me zoom in so you can see the details. So the background is that shiny textured Bazzill cardstock. Love this little butterfly here. Isn't that cute? It's a textured cardstock, and then the rosette is just some designer paper that was cut out on the Cameo. Then there's a piece of vellum above that, and it's cut out to look like a doily. And then a piece of lavender, and then I know it looks black, but that's actually dark purple letters. And those are triple stacked so that they kind of feel like chipboard. So this is the second one. You can see the pattern of the designer paper in there. And then this is the third designer paper we used. So my friend Tony stayed with me and labored over this thing all day, all afternoon today. And we got it done. I am just so thrilled with how it turned out. So it was just a lot of tedious cutting and gluing and peeling off of the silhouette mat and things like that, but it was completely worth it. And Tony, being into sewing, she really helped me figure out the biggest challenge was how to hang all of this up. So let me zoom out. This is the front door, and so when the friends come in, there's going to be a table here tomorrow, and that's going to be the sign-in table. So she really helped me get that up on the wall, so that it's, number one, straight, but also so that those letters are actually hanging very nicely instead of just cattywampus everywhere. So she really helped by getting the pins situated just right, and then my daughter Sierra helped me hang up the quilt. So we got it all done. And then these little butterflies were in a previous video, and this is what they look like actually hung on the wall. And let me go to the side, because then you can see they are actually, there's my bird's cage, he's asleep. They are actually all three-dimensional. So they kind of pop up and stand up off of the wall. And everything here is removable. And she can take it home. We can divide it up with some papers in between all of them. And she can take these home and put everything we made in the baby's room. So let me just zoom in on the banner one more time so you can see those. Let me see if you can see the dimension to it. There you go. So it's really, really cute. And I'm so glad we were able to get that done. Alright, so that's the end of the banner, and we will post pictures really soon. Thanks for watching.